Why, hello there. Let's get this squared away. And then we'll start figuring out what's going on here. Think we're good. All right, so last time we had shrubs. Let's get this over here so that I can still see things. Okay, so hang on. Let me adjust this too. There we go. So, vertical connection tile. Would we click on? We should be able to see it in here. This, and we hit apply. You are a vertical connection tile model, not a room data. Why? What has happened? We're actually going to need to debug this, not regular run this. That's where we're going to start, figuring out what's up. Delicious. Okay. Same deal. We hit apply. Boop. We come into here. This is still very much a room tile at this stage. So we should end up in here. Yep. Update room. It's this right here. This is what we messed up. Because this is the actual location. If we go in here, location 2-1 is not correct. That's the real map coordinates of it. Okay. That was easier to track down than I had feared. So here, current object needs to be, instead of this needs to be room table the UUID. And room table stores the coordinates. So this is actually going to be, let's do this instead. And that's going to be nullable if it is null. It's an argument error. ID. Like so. Otherwise, this guy will be this. Let's see if that's all we need. I think that's all we need. We'll also want to make sure our tests are still passing as well. Oop, the focus just got stolen. There we go. Let's just make sure everything's still passing. Okay. So we'll need to figure that out. I think we passed it the or we built it with real offset coordinates already, so we need to fix that oversight in that test. Which is why it didn't fail to begin with. But if we now try to rename you at 2-1. Oop, that didn't work, did it? We replaced the tile at 2-1, so we've got another bug there. Okay, let's go check out our... It was in map controller test. Makes sense. Gonna go have a little look-see. And that should be connection update. Null current tile. Let's collapse. This one. Okay, so we null that guy. Oh. We did 0-0. Oh, wait a second. Why did you fail? Null current tile. Room data ID. Oh. Not in the room table. We didn't think about that now, did we? That's going to be a problem. We should modify these tests to do, like, the middle of our test map, too. But first we need to solve this problem. Not in the room table. So we're going to need to save. I think that's just going to be... What if we did... that? You know what we need? We need one of them. Oh, I would have to define a getter? Oh, no, it'd be coordinates. No? Why am I brain parting on this? It would just be 0? It would just be 0. Why would it just be... Why don't I have to dot access that? Is there a better way to expose that in Dart? Let's see. This is for doing like Flutter constant stuff for apps. Do 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 do. I don't want like any of these answers. I could do that. Except for that's going to break that. I'd have to do that, which I don't like. There's another syntax I have encountered, and I don't know, I don't think this is gonna... I don't think this is gonna work. Yeah, we already have... I just need to find a better discussion of the correct way to do this. Because I would like to, you know, differentiate between this being 0 what, right? I guess it's a coordinate, but like, it just seems wrong. And maybe the answer is that I should be putting them inside the class instead of above it. There's also... I guess I can't make it a static. If, for funsies, I was to move it... Is that valid? I could. And then... Then I would do that. Okay, let's do that. And then let's also put these all, I guess, above. Well, yeah. I'll have to go fix these, but that's fine. North just becomes coordinate north. Oop. Fix that up. I'm gonna need to do. I'm already in regex mode. Oop. And south with south, west. Keep thinking, trying to tab down. It's not the way that works. Another oops from my sloppy replace. There we go. Okay. So, back to my problem. Oh, I've probably broken a bunch of stuff in here too. Crap, okay. We'll fix it really quick. Thought I did south already. Guess not. What else we got here? These ones I'm just going to fix because it'll be harder to select them than it will be to just do it manually. There. Easy peasy. Okay. Meow. Let's make sure everything else is still passing. Oh, coordinates test is going to be broken too. Okay, fine. Okay, yeah, that's all good except for that. That's okay. Just in case. Okay. And actually, I should we're going to add that and that. Pull constants into the class. So we dot access them for clarity. And I should also do that into there, just to kind of keep the history a little bit cleaner. Okay. So if we don't do this, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, actually, I almost forgot. Hang on a second. When we do our loading and we determine our offset location here, oh, we just random, yeah, we just YOLO that in there. So we've got size X and size Y. When we load the map, we reset those. Here, we should be able to figure it out. Except we have our new size. Oh, okay. That is... We're going to name this map size X, map size Y. And yeah, here, let's see. How do we know that it's double from this? Hello, wind. You've become very windy suddenly. Is there a way to mathematically figure out? So we know from eyeballs that it's doubled. Because 2, 1 is here really, but it's actually 0, 1, or well, 1, 2. No, it is 0, 0, 1, 2. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 0, 1, 2. Is there a way, if that was to change? Like if we were to add padding, for example. Is it just So it should be 10 by 10, but it's actually going to be 10 by, or it's going to be 19 by 19. And if we were to, like, say 21 by 21, then our offset would end up being one more. And if we were to divide, I don't think that works. Actually, no, we'd have to add, yeah, it'd be +1. Never mind. Is there like is this a thing in math? Let's see here. There might be something. I'm not finding a whole lot, just at a cursory search. Well, actually, can we do a coordinate here? If we multiply everything by 2... I don't think coordinates supports... We do add and subtract. Does it make... I guess we can do that. Not sure if it's the best idea, but... like so. Let's go ahead and make sure... Add coordinate negative, subtract coordinate negative. Just copy this structure here. That is not what I wanted. There we go. Like so. Dang, it's hecka windy out here. You need to be something that is not 0. Can do 2s, I suppose. That should end up being that. Do I want to... Do I want to support multiplying by negatives? I guess if you give it a negative, then you give it a negative. And this should probably, we should just for the sake of completeness. Is there a good use case for that? Probably. So it should still be positive 4. I have to check my basic math there. And then negative times a positive, it should be a negative 4. Uh, 2 times negative 2. Yeah. I want to mess up the tests. Okay. This did not work. We got 2. Oh, we need to do that. Actually, can we? I deleted that thinking it wasn't correct syntax, but I think we can, actually. Just shorthand, right? Yeah, here we go. Okay. We'll do that. We'll do that. This we'll hard code for now. We'll go ahead and add the coordinates and the coordinates test. Add port for multiplying two coordinates and tests. So now that we store an offset, here we can say if my offset is null, then offset location equals room to update location times map offset. Oh, you're final, so you can't be final. That's fine. Oh, we can replace you with nullaware. Okay. How do we feel about that? Now it'll attempt to write in there and it'll pass. Okay. We'll just take your word for it that you know where you're trying to be, I suppose. I should check. Let's do do we want to double check it here to be careful? Oh, we don't want to write it there though anyway. We want offset location. Um, what do you mean it can't be null? Oh. I would need to flip those around. Duh. So if it's null, or if it's a room data, or rather, if it's not null, or it's not... Receiver can't be null. What's the... Is it that? Then it's an argument error because this is the incorrect location. We're trying to prevent this from happening, right? And then we can... just do that. We don't need braces. Otherwise, we set it. Okay. We'll relaunch you, make sure we got everything new, shiny, spiffy. 2.1 is our guinea pig. We set you to foo. Come out. You have been set. Okay. Beautiful. Make sure we reload just for the sake of clearing that out. I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay. So let's do a commit for this, and then we'll go brush up those. Yeah, okay. Room data form, tile data form, yes. Oh yeah, just tile data. Yeah. Get saving room changes to the in-memory map. Working. Alright, all that can go up. Meow. The next thing we want to do here is, I'm worried about these guys now. We've exposed a failing in our test in that 0, 0 was probably not a great pick. And I'm thinking, if I remember correctly, this should be a 3x3 map. Yeah. So it's actually going to be a 5 by 5. So 0, 1, 2. Wait. 3, 6, 5. Yeah, 5 by 5. 0, 1, 2, which is 1. Yeah. So a 2, 2 should be... So it's basically this corner. So 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 2, 2 should be the center, which might be a better candidate for our testing. Oh, you know, the other thing is... No. Just because it's going to involve using that offset logic, right? I was thinking we needed to take it out of the room table. And we actually might. But it's overriding, so it should be fine. Okay, so this should still pass, no problemos. Okay, yes. We're just going to go in here. And actually, I think let's YOLO this a little bit. We need to escape that 0, escape this, escape that 0, escape this. We'll say we need you to be proceeding. Is that correct? I don't think we need that. We'll try it without. We're going to replace this with 2, 2. YOLO. Run it. Okay, only one. Because our ID doesn't match. And that's null current tile. Okay. And that's because we didn't kill the room table. When we nulled you, room table, remove. We actually need to do this first. Two as room tile. What are you mad about? Are you not? Is that not the right type? Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. I just want to get your ID. Tile data, room data. Room data. There we go. So we kill that, and then we kill that. And then we should be able to write it in there. But we can't. Ah, we didn't change our coordinates. Okay. That's because this wouldn't be 2, 2. It'd be 1, 1. So it's addressing a different tile after the offset. Yeah, there we go. We should probably... So our test has helped us catch a thing, even though it's not failing. We've just updated these rooms and overwritten their location. In theory. Oh no, because we use that for the location. Okay. But we do want to make sure that we don't do that. Okay. We don't ever... Well, because we base you on your room? No. We get your offset location here now. I guess the other thing we could do is up here, so it's not null. We check the ID. We can also say if these aren't equal, that's also an argument error because you've given us a bad argument. Location of we do need squirrely braces for this. Not same as the existing tile location. Not sure if that completely covers our butts. Let's say dated data location incorrect. We could just like disregard that as an update, but say that you're at 4.4 just for fun. And then I'll, use the right syntax instead of just distractedly inventing my own while I was thinking about if that's good enough or not. We expect all of this same. Everything should stay the same. So we do that like so. And we didn't do... that yet. We do need to do that. Okay. Okay. We got our exception. Ensure we don't try to write incorrect locations to or on tile update. And actually what I should have done before I did that commit is come up here. Or down here, as the case may be. And remove this. And that test we just wrote should fail. And it does. Oh. That's my fault. Do that, please. Thank you. Let's try that again. Okay, yeah. Location incorrect. Return null. Guess it failed right there and didn't even do the rest. That's fine. We still want to make sure nothing changed. Okay. Alrighty then. What's next? We have to do connection updates. And we do handle that in here, but we don't ever we test for this. We cleared that out. But we don't make sure that we wrote the data to the tile. That's going to be difficult to do in the test, unfortunately. It's a very difficult thing to test in general. I much preferred relying upon the already tested libraries. Packages. I guess this one we'd still have to do either way, but... we should do it. So we're going to pull this out. into a helper function. We already got one. We still use you, right? Yeah. Heavily, as a matter of fact. Okay. This guy. We want to put this back up with this. So this is going to be like a couple different helpers to get this done in a way that makes sense that we can reuse a couple times. So this one, this is connection data. Let's do this one as set connection tile data. Well, we can do that. And we actually need to pull, I'm mistaken. Wait. We got the tile. Ah. So we need the vector. And I guess the tile we would need to feed in as well. This just becomes target vector. This just becomes connection tile. You can just call you set connection data. We do set connection data. So we need our target tile. Sorry, target connection vector. Target connection tile. No. We can have another one that's pretty similar, but that and then I don't think I'm not sure if I can just directly compare connection data objects. In fact, I'm almost certain I can't without overriding the equals and the hash, I think is what the internet said. And we're not going to do that in real code, only in test code. So I guess we can just do and then we can say just thinking if we ever really care about this other than in a test. And I don't think so. Because we're cool with just like overriding whatever's in there. You told me you wanted it to be what is shown in the UI, so just shoot it in there. So this will be kind of dirty, but it's just a test. So we can just be exit description. We can just kind of be quick and dirty about it. Okay. So here we can return connection data are equal missing I wanna one paren, and then you need to be a bool. Do I want to do that? Or do I want to handle I probably want to just handle this in here like so. And then we've null checked that. Well, I would need to do this in both cases. That's okay. So what happens if one is... Guess we'll find out. And then we just need to do all the other cases here. Oh, comma. That's what I was missing. Okay. I think I talked about doing that last time, but this should be on all of these guys. I guess both of these guys is what I should say. Okay, so I can now validate them and set their datas. So I'll be able to clear them. I'll be able to validate them. Let me think here. Yeah. Okay. So in our connection added, we check the nullness of them. And then I believe after we do the set, or rather the update here, you should be able to do all this and then say be able to go through them, and we should be able to say that we expect except for we can't do that. I would need to say, so these should be the same list. Actually, I have target tile still saved. Well, that's the old. We can go through it this way. And we could say updated data connections at I should have the same connection data. I also need the vector. Oh wait, I'm dumb. I'm not even using the thing I just built. Validate connection data. Target vector is, I think I can get away with doing this. Updated data connections. So, I need to do origin vector 2 destination. Except for I don't have a good way to get the connection tile here. Maybe that's a way I can tidy some of this up. Yeah. So we take the parent location, and then we take, honestly, we can just take a connection data. Because we can assume that our starting point is the origin. That's how connections work, just by happy accident. Except for you're not a connection data. You're a... Wait. Yeah, you are. We'll also need a map controller provided to us, because we won't have it in this point. Okay, so y'all can probably get up there. What we can do here, and you're mad because, yeah, you don't return. Vector 2, the destination. Origin X, origin Y, this is going to be plus our vector. Oh wait, no. Hey, thanks for that follow there. Appreciate that. This is just origin plus. We can't get the map just yet. We need to get that. May I ask you a question? Sure. This our controller. One day I'll learn how to use the thumb cluster, I tell you. Controller. This is where we can get our map. The X and the Y. Now, I understand the reasoning behind using Golang. I don't yet have the experience of using Golang, but I understand the use case for it in terms of DevOps. You don't need to use DevOps to use Go. But yeah, why use Dart? Because I'm building the editor in Flutter. And Flutter uses Dart. And we need to get the data into a Flutter available format from the JSON data. That's why. So we have a retrieve tile now. I'm thinking... DevOps is more in Bash, Python, but the tooling isn't... I mean, Kubernetes is in Go, but you don't have to... You don't have to DevOps to use Go, and you don't have to use Go to DevOps. Like, there are two concepts that are completely divorced from one another. Okay, so in this case, We could actually just return that directly. But I guess if we have confused why Go is getting bashed on while also seemingly being the baseline. I don't know what it's being bashed on. Dart is for the client-side app, right? Used Go for the service? Yes. And the editor, I mean, editor isn't really client-side, but the client does happen to also be in Flutter. Yeah, server's all in Go. The server lives over here. He's full of all kinds of lovely, lovely bits and pieces. Like we could actually, why not? Let's take a break because this is cooking my brain a little bit. Let's take a quick break and we'll just show polygon right. Let's show people what I've been working on. How does it go compared to like Java or Scala? I don't know. I've never used Scala before, Scala, however you say that. And it's very different from Java. It's more like C and Python had a baby. Let's get a database going. I should update that container eventually. All right, so let's fire up the server. Get the database running. Give that a second to build. There we go. Does it just run? I can never remember. Give that a second to build. Do. There we go. So we have our lovely login screen. We have a character. And we can look around. And we can move around. And if we were to like launch another client here, for example, we could also log in, assuming I could type my username, and we could look around, and we go east, and we could see that Foo is standing here, and we could see ourselves enter. We could look at Foo and see that he's a hardy adventurer, and we could leave, and we could come back and do all kinds of things. Oh, actually, we could also do, wait, which one am I? If we were to come back in, we could see ourselves enter over here. Oh, maybe I didn't do that right. I thought I had that in. Maybe I only did it for logout? No, I don't have the exit text. It used to work. I need to go fix it again, apparently. I broke it when I moved things around. But that... Oh, you know what it was? I didn't do the exit. I did the entrance. I bet. Anywho. That's... Done with that. We're done with that. That's kind of the state of things and stuff. Java Spring sucks. I hate annotation, reflection-based coding. Assumes you know the behavior. I prefer written code over reflection. I've never worked with Spring. Java I haven't really worked with in, like, professionally ever, and I haven't written any Java code in very, very long time. Okay, so we can get a connection tile, but we still then need to... We could actually take a connection tile here. But does that help me? Connection tile I can now get by feeding it data and my controller. And we expect it to be true. I only work with Java when I need to write Android layers. I haven't done that either. Room data is not a subtype. Ooh. So I messed up somewhere along the way there. Action data. You have the options of using Scala, Kotlin, and Clojure if one is interested in setting in Java ecosystems and libraries. Gotcha. Let's see. Get connection tile from the data. And it gave me our room data. You have the because the origin doesn't account for the offset. So I do need the parent location in real, well, in the display map terms. And then except for that's going to throw this off as well. Crap. Well, no. Okay, that's where I went wrong. The vector is still correct, because up and to the left is still up and to the left. That'd be the right, but you get the point. This is where I need to do that. Okay. So... I feel like I have made errors in my judgment in having this map offset business not more deeply workable. Target origin, but we have target connection origin. That is the correct. We can use that. Oh, that's the room data though. We could do... Well, actually, hang on. Let me roll back. just a hair. Because we did just expose, or just add, ditch that. This oop. That should be on silent. Controller, oops. What did I call you? We're gonna make that public. That's not a terrible thing. I'm okay with having that. That'd be that. Okay. Now you're good. Okay. So the connections were validated. Oh, that was a lot of work. Could we do we don't need target vector in here. We can find that out. Connection data, which is just data, vector 2, destination. This just needs to not be null in order to really do this job anyway. Oh, right. We can't do... Oh, wait, no, that's going to be... Wait. What did I just... Was this not just passing? Am I losing my mind? Possible. Quite possible. No. I just removed a parameter, duh. Oh, is it because... If this is nullable, then a nullable object satisfies it. That's why. No. So confused now. I removed target vector. And then I did that. So You. That goes away. There we go. Okay. Yeesh. Confused myself real good there for a second. Okay. Now. The other thing... We checked that. In this case, we need to do basically the same thing. Except, not quite. We deleted the connection. We expect you to be null, though. But not there. We can't do it this way. We need to do... last connection. We want that. It's ultimately going to look like that, but... we don't know what tile it moved. We just took the last in the list. So we don't know what it killed. We do want to check that tile, though. This isn't... oh, okay. I've spotted my... this isn't really a tile. Wait. It is. It is a tile. We're getting the vector from the data. We have another helper for this. Other way around. Make sure that the things around a connection tile are rooms. I guess what I could do... We can get the tile. That's not a problem. Validating it is, because if it's a diagonal tile, it's going to have 4 different connection datas in it. If it's one of the others, it'll have 2, but they're also going to be differently named depending upon the thing. So we would need to know... We'd have to check... we have to switch again, which is fine. Well, we can't switch because we need to do the type. So... something like validating the vector. Because we can only assume we have a connection tile. We should know the vector to check and connection data, expected data. What did we expect to find in there, right? So, given that we have the connection tile, if it's vertical or it's horizontal or it's diagonal, we'll check different things. We can do this, I believe. In all 3 of these. So vertical. It's an argument error. You've given us an invalid. Vector not valid for a vertical connection tile. Samey same for these guys. These guys. Should all have those. Okay. If it's north, actually I need to do the connection data. No, except for you don't. No. It's connection data are equal. North connection, expect data. Oh, I forgot to do. The thing we just made myself do for the sake of clarity. Okay, except for this is the south connection. This is the east connection. This is the west. West connection. Why did I use all these complicated data structures? Because each class, for display, just for display, it made the graphical side easier. Northeast. I could have done the same one, but then I had to try to figure out what the hell they are to display them with different icons. There we go. Okay. Now, we're going to make a lot more use of these guys here in a minute when we start testing editing connections. So, connection added, that's fine. This guy. Connection tile vector. Connection tile is going to be my target connection tile. My vector to check is going to be, what were you called? Target connection? No, last connection. Origin, vector to destination. And we expect you to be null. But I didn't make you nullable. If you're null, then we expect y'all to be null. And then we expect this to return true. Wrong side of the paren there. There, okay. This should pass. And it does, all right. Fantastic. Let's make sure everything else is still passing. Cool. I did pub spec. Oh, because I ran it. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna just really quickly. Actually, I can do it from here. I'm gonna chuck that out there. Okay. So now only these changes are in this branch. And we're going to add helpers to check the connection tiles are modified correctly. Okay. That's done. Oop. Space in the right place. There we go. We need to now... We're done with that for right now, I think. We might still need that open. Where's the, Where's my map tile guy? This is the editor. Map pane, there we are. Oh, you're over here. There you are. Actually, it is over here. Tile changes. Should handle both of those. Controller update tile is set up. We just need to figure out what we're doing here. So if I'm only updating connection data, it means that I'm in... Oh, these aren't even selectable yet. We need to do that first. Duh. Okay. That is in... tile data. Right? Does the map pane... Are you set up to actually set selected tile around the table view cell? Room tile. These guys also need gesture detectors. Is there a better way? You're a builder. Oh, I can do... Duh. Hang on, before I get ahead of myself. Oh no, because we return that as a default. Okay. Either way, can we do... this? Let's spell it correctly, please. Oh, but then I would have to... Because I can't do a switch statement this on an is, I don't think. Let me just... Yeah, I can't do that. Can't do that. And I can't do that. Is there... I would love to do a switch in here. It would clean things up a lot. So it's saying I should be able to do this. Hang on. Hang on. This is not what the link said it should be. Use type name instead of literal. Type literal. That would be the correct, I think, way to do this. Why did I say null? Oh, because nulls could be, yeah. Nulls have to be map tiles. Because the others get pre-populated. So we can do this, in theory. Okay, yeah. Yeah. And at the end of all this, we'll just borrow you. We're going to return you. Child will be child widget. So that's done. Case horizontal. Then you become this. Vertical becomes that. If you're diagonal, You become that. Okay. That's there. That's there. That cleans that up a whole heck of a lot. But what did I just, let me just tidy that back up real quick. We returned this in case of an invalid, just so that we had something, because throwing an error doesn't help anybody here. Child widget's that in a default. If you're none of the other things. Okay. We're going to relaunch this to make sure it doesn't explode. Okay. Okay. This should be broken. Because we only do this in cases where you're a room tile. And over here, we're going to have to switch here too. Because we need to handle the other types and build this connections list. And we'll have to handle it when we save. No, we're good there. Why do we have connections? Oh, that's for the UI. It's still probably fine. We're going to break this out into a switch as well, though. Let's make sure this all works as expected still. Just be sure. So 2-1 should now be full, and it is. Okay, so let's commit that really quick. Factor big if blocks into switch on the type. Okay. The oh, hang on. What are the actual horizontal tile? Duh. Oh no, this is data. Okay, I'm getting confused. This is the actual tile. You need to be imported. Okay. Why don't I have access to... Ah. Tile data, because you're squirreled away in there. Why did I do that? What was the reason for this split? You're more of a controller than a model, that's why. Okay. You can keep your name, it's fine. Why can tile data be null? Does that make sense? I don't think it makes sense. Just gonna do that. Well, actually, hang on. Is there... No, you have to have tile data. You can have empty connections in here. That makes sense, but it doesn't make sense that you don't have a tile data. Okay, so we add that if west connection goes in there. And then where did my tile data? Here you are. You also get converted because we're going to add a bunch of you. You move up to default land. Oops. Killed that from my clipboard by accident. There we go. You should be lowercase there. Okay. Now. Wait. Yeah. No. Done in there. Well, no, we're not done in there. There's on a connection tile model. Oop. Why are you trying to create? Get tile data. Selected tile. Oh, because I forgot. So. Oh, except for... It's just an object. Now you're working. Weird. And then this, we're going to need to build a form for, I think. But for the second, to make sure I've wired that all up correctly in my confusion there. So that. Well, that certainly didn't do that. But cleared the other stuff. What am I mistaking here? We're gonna do this real quick. I've made a mistake somewhere. Clearly. It is a little bit complicated. So if I select a room, we come in here. Select it as room data, like so. We come in here, no surprise. Okay, working correctly. Here, oh, is okay. This is the model. Because when we clicky you, let's stop that real quick. Map tile. The map tile is still the model. Which is actually good. Because that means that I can do this, which is much nicer. Like so. And then that. Okay. I think I've untangled myself from a web of my own making. I should have named this better. That's what I should have done. Okay, working. Horizontal tile. Perfect. Okay. And we don't have in our map editor or our map or where did I put you? We have room tile, room data form. That's what I'm looking for. Room data form. You're down here in widgets. Why did I put you there? You shouldn't be there. Let's reorganize this real quick. First, let's close that, and we're gonna do looks roughly correct. Let's do that real quick. And then let's reorganize this a little bit because I'm obviously getting confused as I go through here. So we got a map editor. We have the map itself. I'm just going to put room as a folder. Room tile can live in there. And room model can live in there. Like so. Everything should still be working. So far, so good. Okay. What else needs to go live in there? Room data form needs to go live in room. You need to be called tile data. You can be called, we can leave the class name the same. But this is going to be sidebar. That should live here in the map stuff as well. In there, actually. That gets shared among them. That can live here as well. That gets shared among these two, both sides of this same screen. Connection data form also gets shared in here among the different dealios. Don't remember if anybody else is using you, but you can stay there. Hey to you as well. Try add new. This template bar also goes in here. How's my Christmas? Is all right. How about you? And then map pane. I don't know why you're down here either. Oh, I do. I was thinking about reusability. This is the only place this is going to get used in here, though. We're going to put you into here. These should be mostly things. Can't complain myself. Excellent. Excellent. Oh. Crap. These were widgets only used within the map editor. Hang on. Or not discard. Restore. Okay, now these all should just be duplicate. Duplicate copies of the files. There we go. Okay. Hang on. Let me roll, slow my roll there. These are editor widgets. That's why they're in there. These are map widgets, which is why they're in here. Like, I still want to reorganize this a little bit, but I want to be careful about it. That's why things like data form are in there. Do I want to put the room things inside of here? Got room template in there. I'm going to do this. You're going to go in there. I'm going to stop that because it's going to be all confused since I get messed around with all of the things. Room tile can go in here. Room model can go in here. This is here because we use it in both, I bet, the template and... No? Tile data and in here. Stateroom data form. I guess you're only used in tile data. Okay. Oh, that's right, because you don't have the same fields, so we had to break you out. So if you're only ever used in the tile data, that means you're an editor widget. Okay, I'm okay with that. Let's do... this. And that. You can probably stay there. That's fine. You could make an argument for either one. Just want to impose a little bit more sanity here. That should be better. I was losing too many files, so it was time to clean that up a little bit. All is well there. Okay. Okay. Now. Let's just call you horizontal. And then the tile can live in there. And the model can live in there. Okay. Let's just rip the band-aid off here. Vertical goes in there. Vertical goes in there. Diagonal goes in here. Diagonal model goes in here. That allows us to remove this confusing second widgets folder. Okay. Connection tile base. All get used. Okay, that's fine. coordinates. You're a single one-off. That's fine. Map controller, map model. Okay, I think that's better. Just quickly, because I'm paranoid, make sure I didn't break anything with the automatic refactoring that moved things around a little bit. Okay, I think we're okay. Like so. Getting tired because I'm making mistakes. It is, yeah, okay, good. It is getting kind of late. Okay. So, let's clean up some of this mess. I think we're done with that for now. You're still going to be important. You're still going to be important. You're going to be very important. So are you. You won't be. You will be as well here in a minute. Because our to-do is to handle these guys. Let's put our to-do in here. Actually, no. You need to be in, see, already I can find things better. Feel good about this. We need to up next time. Build a form for it. Form for this. So we can then build the actual saving logic. Okay. And speaking of next time, thank you to everybody who came and hung out. It was good to see those of you who are return viewers, and it was good to meet those of you who are new. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed and let my brain degelatinize. Gelatinize? There you go. But if you like this kind of thing, I do it for a couple hours a night, 4 days a week, starting on Friday and ending on Monday. So, if I'm not mistaken, today is Sunday, and it is. So, if you come back tomorrow at around 8 p.m. Central Time, I'll be here doing more of it. And I'd love to see you again. And if not, you guys have your